It says this thing up here. Welcome back, you guys. We are here for another week with the Menopause Love Lounge. We have all of your favorite ladies in the lounge with us today. We have the fabulous Ozzy Osbourne here with us. What's up, Ozzy?
Whoop, whoop. What's up?
What's up? We've got Junie Moon in the house. Junie, hi.
Hi.
Lori Gerber is joining us here, of course. Lori.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Yo.
Dawn Wiggins. How are you, girl?
Hi, loves.
Hi. And of course, not last, not least, Karen Viesta. How are you?
Hello. I'm good.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good. We are all good. I'm your host, Andrea Kanoki. We are so excited you guys are joining us here yet another week in the Menopause Love Lounge. Today, we are putting the men back in menopause. Is that not what we're
Yes.
doing? It is time that they are
Yep.
back in with us. We are going to be talking about moods, mating, and misunderstandings in midlife. That is where we're headed today. We've got some great stuff coming up for you guys. We're going to talk about what has shifted in your intimate or romantic relationships during menopause. What has kind of surprised you? We're going to, of course, do our cultural watch segment where Karen fills us in on the latest stats on what is going on out there with men in menopause. And we're going to touch base on a couple influencers on TikTok who are really, and they're men, I should say, are really talking to us about menopause. So we're going to get there. And of course, our fabulous Legs Wide Open segment coming later. We're going to do a few hot flash confessions on what we think men understand about menopause.
Or not.
Right.
Or not.
All right, let's get started. We're going to jump in starting out. So I just want to hear from you guys where you're at in your relationships with men, whether it's partners, dating, exes, sons, friends, wherever that is, and how it kind of affects you within your intimate and romantic relationships as well during this time. Okay, so who wants to start? Who wants to give me something good? Silence.
I'll start.
Nobody wants to spill the tea.
I am known amongst family and friends as I always start the buffet. So you can always,
All right.
you can always count on me to start a buffet.
Girls gotta eat. Girls gotta eat. Let's go.
Girls gotta talk. Girls gotta eat. Okay, so I have been in a very good period with my husband over the last decade, a very strong,
Nice.
good, solid period. However, about a year and a half ago, we got into this enormous argument. I was trying to tell him how we should clean up from dinner, and he was not listening to me, and I lost my effing marbles. Okay. And I yelled, I screamed, I cried in front of my whole extended family, in front of my children. It was the biggest fight. I can't remember actually having a bigger fight with him. And it was the first time I was like, I think I might be done, right? Like, and I have never had that thought, but I had that thought. I don't think I really took it seriously, but I mean, it was as far as I've ever gone. In the approximately 24 hours that I was not speaking to my husband after this fight, he went ahead and Googled some statistics on menopause and found
Bless his heart.
Wow. Found that the divorce rate goes up for some reason when women hit menopause. And that women are more and more asking for divorces when they hit menopause. He even ordered a book. I think he ordered a book that very same day instead of reading it. And honestly, he came back to me and he was like, okay, I'm going to back
Surrender.
off.
Yeah.
I am going to actually empower what you're experiencing. I'm not going to fight with you about this anymore. And on that day was born my promise to have 1 hour of time to myself every single day. With like high stakes consequences if I do not take that hour to myself. And for the first time ever, not only do I almost always take that time to myself, but he even defends my right to have that time to myself.
Wow. That's amazing.
We love him. He is a good one. He is a very good one.
Having your own time is so important.
Yeah.
It's for our sanity, you know?
It's like food and water. I literally can't cope
Mm.
without it. I've learned.
Yeah.
And has it changed your intimacy with him, like your sex life? Has that changed based on
saved
how
our
he now
marriage. I would say
understands?
it saved our marriage. I was just done. I was just done. I did not care anymore. Like all the good went out the window because I was so depleted and could not ground myself. Right. So, and it's not that hard for me to ground myself if I have that time to myself. So, but it and I don't like it that it's that simple. It seems too easy, too simple, right. Like, but it turns out now I've experimented with it for a while. It's actually what works for me. So, yes, it has changed our marriage for sure.
I love that. Congrats. That's amazing. That's
Well,
really
I'll
amazing.
piggyback on that because I was going through my divorce. Talk about the connection between menopause and divorce. I was, because Mother Nature has a sense of humor, I was deep in the throes of perimenopause when I was going through my divorce. And
Wow.
I can tell you that my ex-husband had no idea what I was going through. But in fairness, neither did I. I mean, I really, it was kind of just before you started hearing a lot about perimenopause and menopause. And so my current boyfriend, he was he had the benefit of being around when I started my podcast and when I started my coaching business. I went through an advanced certification in women's wellness. So he sort of
Oh.
went on this journey with me, and everything that I was learning, he was learning at the same time.
Nice.
And he often will say to me, "Men just could not do this." Like to feel as bad as women feel, and to maintain all of the responsibilities of, a job, a home, a family, children, parents. Like he's just like men couldn't do that.
It's
So I
true.
think, like
Yeah.
Lori, I'm lucky. He's a good one. He gets it. He's super supportive, but but unless you have a partner who's really willing to learn this along with you, they don't get it. They don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's really difficult. Junie, what do you got?
I'm glad you picked me. I feel thank
Always,
you for picking me.
always.
You feel picked.
I feel picked.
You belong.
Because it really fits with what's been shared. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. I am in a relationship with a naturopath and a functional doctor, and
Wow.
he knows what we go through because he treats it all the time, and he has an understanding of it. And because of the work I've done on myself to be able to share vulnerably, I've been able to share with him in the beginning of our relationship my fear around feels like razor blades when we have intercourse, or I'm just not feeling the libido. And with his patience and his understanding and just with his knowledge, he supported me along the way and then also helped me figure out my hormones. So, it's been an inside journey around taking care of myself because I've been shamed. I've been judged. I've been dating before him, and guys really didn't quite understand it, even if I did share about it. And now I'm very lucky because I am having the best sex of my life, and I have a partner that totally gets it and adores me no matter what. So that's where I'm at.
Amazing. Love
Yeah,
you
I'm
Oh,
guys.
lucky. Very
I
blessed.
love that. I love that. I think we all strive to find that person. I know a lot of you are married, and some of us that are still single here, that we strive to find that person that just totally gets us in that area, right? So I personally, I've been dating for, oh God, it feels like forever, but it's like the last 7 to 8 years. I have an IUD. I've had that for about 5 years. So I have not had a period for as long as I can remember. And so I've never really known when I'm in menopause, when am I in perimenopause.
Mm,
And honestly, I feel like sometimes my doctors don't even know because they'll kind of go, well, when was your last period? Hey, I don't know. I don't have one. And then it's just kind of, they move on to the next topic. And I think it's just an assumption that I am. I mean, I've had a little bit of the hot flashes, some sleepless nights, but I don't have vaginal dryness. So there's that. That's at least
Winning,
a positive
winning.
thing. Winning.
yeah, it
But,
really sucks. It really sucks. Ouch.
Yeah. So, I've gotten on the hormone replacement therapy patch, and that has really helped. I don't know if Dawn's cringing over there like, Andrea, I can help you.
Well, there are a number of
yes,
things that
I see.
I would tweak, but
Yes.
but it's working for you right
I'm her
now,
worst
and so
nightmare.
that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And, for me, I don't really even talk about menopause with my partners at this point. And I think it's the fear of me appearing to be older. I don't want them to
Yeah.
think of me as being like this kind of dried up woman, for lack of better words, dried up woman that's in menopause. I think it just has this stigma about it. And so that scares me, and I just don't talk about it. I don't really say it. More recently, I've just been like, oh, menopause brain. I'm almost testing it to see what kind of reaction I get, or, oh, she's
Floating a
in
marketing
menopause?
message. Yeah.
Yes. How
A/B
old
test
is
some
she?
things.
Right. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. And, but because I don't have the vaginal dryness, that has been such a blessing. Thank God my sex life has been great. With men, I'm very experimental, and that's been fun for me. And I'm really loving that. I'll leave that alone for now. I'm sure we'll have
The hoo-ha
another
is
whole
abundant.
episode.
That's
The
right.
hoo-ha is
Andrea,
abundant.
you're reminding me that I purposely talk about menopause in front of men as a little bit of a form of activism. You know how you were
Oh,
saying, like, you
really?
go, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, menopause
Yeah.
brain," right? So
Yes.
Yeah.
I have found
Yeah.
that recently when I'm around men, either like parents of my kids, friends, or sometimes I lead workshops to men or coach men.
To
I
normalize
I
it.
talk about I
Yeah.
talk about being
Yeah.
hot, I talk about sweating, I talk about because I do think we can all make a difference, right? If we
Well,
just
we
start
thank
to
you, Lori.
to
We
talk
thank
about it.
you for that public
You're
service.
welcome.
Yeah, we do, Lori.
Truly.
Lori,
I mean,
Well,
and
and
go
I
ahead.
think you're doing exactly what we are talking about today. You are
Yeah.
putting the men back in menopause.
Mhm.
We're not taking them
Bring 'em
on.
It's not private. It's like pretend like we don't have periods. Like, why are we hiding it
Yeah.
from them as
Yeah.
if it's something to be
Mhm.
ashamed of? It's not something to be
Mhm.
Let's
ashamed
bring it
of.
out into
And
the
I
light.
and I
Yeah.
have a man who isn't scared about body fluids or menopause or any of that,
Same.
but I want everyone to
Same.
have that man. But we gotta
Mhm.
train.
Yeah.
We
Right.
gotta tell him
We
what's
got to
up.
train them. Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
have to normalize the conversations, right? So when we normalize it and we talk about it not as like, oh God, menopause, right? We talk about it from
Yeah.
a positive lens. And I'll speak for me. I am also single, so I don't really have interaction with um my love lounge, my love.
Sounds like
Wow.
first love.
Your
Wow.
love liquor.
My love life. My love lounge is my love life. You are my love life because so for me it's I too, so I talk about menopause at home around my boys, so it does
Mhm.
normalize the same thing when they were younger. And I talked about, remember I told you in the other episode that I live to embarrass my children. So yes, I do
Yeah.
talk about sex very positively and out there, and they're like, mom, shut up. So I do the same thing with menopause because I think it's not a bad thing, it's not a disease,
Right.
it's not a condition.
Exactly.
Not a
Yeah.
disease.
It's not.
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
so normal and so beautiful, and it's so while they get my my hot flash anger that comes out sometimes, when I do repair with them, I do come back and I do explain to them what's going on with me, so they do have an understanding. And
I
in
love
terms
that.
in terms
Yeah.
of other men that I work with, that is something that I'm really a stand for, to really talk about menopause, but also to teach men and to hear them, because they're also going through something. They're going through
Mm.
a transition
Mhm.
just like we
Mhm.
are. And
So
when
true.
they understand it and have
Menopause.
Yes.
They're
yeah,
going through menopause.
right.
Yeah.
We're not pausing you, men, but we want to bring
Yeah.
you into the conversation so that you
Mhm.
really do understand that we could work together here, because their brain is wanting to fix things. And
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
can't fix this, they don't know what to do. They feel helpless. They feel not good enough. They feel sort of, just again, similar to when we were pregnant, some of us that were pregnant,
Mhm.
and had children, there wasn't really a place for them, right?
Mhm.
So this is the same thing. If we include them, then they could be part of the solution. They could be part of the connection and the help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great that you're doing it even with your sons at a young age, because they are going to remember that
Yeah.
as they get older. Well, my mom
Mhm.
used to talk about that. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I mean, hopefully in a good way.
I was
but
thinking, God
I
bless
think
her
that's great.
daughters-in-law, right? Like, let's see
Yeah.
what's coming down the pike.
Really?
Oh, they're going to thank me. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they're in a generation where honestly they're so much more open about all
Exposed to
this
so
stuff.
much.
When I
Yeah.
hear the young girls talking about their periods, they'll talk about it in front of girls, boys. Like it's
It's
not the
different.
same as when we were
Yeah.
growing up and these were taboo subjects,
Mhm.
Yeah.
thankfully.
Yeah. Dawn, what do you got for us?
Okay, I really feel deeply emotional about this topic, really. And I think that it starts for me with for us as women and the tone that we do take about menopause. It doesn't have to be this painful. It doesn't have to be this hard, but we're so disconnected from what true health and like metabolic and hormonal abundance looks like, right? Because we've been so suppressed and repressed. The food sources are so toxic. We're over medicated. We've had IUDs and birth control for so long. We're disconnected from our own cycles and our own bodies. And so if we're not connected to the truth of what menopause is meant to be, our second spring, it's not meant to be this hot. It's not meant to be this hard. The razor blades are not a sign of balance, right? It's like we're so disconnected ourselves. And then how can we expect men to do it differently, right? But I actually think that the origin point for so much of that, at least in my story, is that my parents and my husband's parents treated the women like men. For far too long, the women were the primary breadwinners, or the single mothers, or working so hard, so much, like compensating for under-functioning men, that they became so depleted that it like almost killed them with autoimmune issues and just in general, right? Depletion. And so that's what I was born into, and that's what my husband was born into. Now, my husband is a gem. And my last period, it was like a murder scene, and he was just in there scrubbing it all up, and it was good to go, right? But so he's one of those just knights in shining armor that I can't have a bodily fluid that freaks him out. He
goes
says
with the flow.
vaginas. Yeah, he goes with the flow. He says vaginas taste like apricots, and he can have that conversation with me. It's fantastic. But I do think that it has taken a lot to help him understand that men don't understand how women's sex drive works, how our hormonal cycles work, right? And it's been really like an ongoing conversation about, you can't expect me to work this hard and then still want to have sex, or work this hard and then still have energy to give you it, all of that. So yeah. Rant, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Good one, John. Good one.
Your vagina tastes like an apricot.
I think
mine
it's
does.
amazing. Yours does. Have you tasted your own?
Yeah, of course. You don't taste yours?
There are times
Hold
during
please.
sex, right,
Hold
where one
please.
gets exposed to
Guys,
one's own. Yeah.
we are going to have an episode on body fluids. It's inevitable.
Okay.
Everyone just wait for it. Hold your body fluid comments.
Well,
Okay,
there's so much surrounding the vagina area with men that I just think they're such troopers when it comes to it. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had only one guy actually said this to me. He's like, normally this would kind of be like kind of gross or freak me out, but sometimes you have little pieces of toilet paper stuck like down there because
Dead.
Lori,
I'm
you're
always checking.
dead.
I'm always checking because I'm so terrified of that happening.
Can you imagine?
and so he's going down on it and coming up with it in his mouth, And I'm like, oh my
Lesson
God.
learned.
I had one pull a tampon out of me. Well, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Did you know you
Lord
had a
to be.
tampon in
Lord
here?
to
I
be.
can't get in here. I was like, no, I did not. I forgot.
That's a testament to how comfortable those
gosh.
things are, right? We don't even know, but we can
Remember
get
that
onto all of that.
You remember that article we read, though, that men are just so excited we're naked? Like, that's it.
They don't care
Shelf
what else is
movies.
down there.
Okay, guys, we've lost the plot.
Okay,
we
sorry.
we have completely lost the plot.
Oh, but it was just fun talking about
was
it. All
fun.
right, let's carry us on. Karen, what do you got for our cultural watch segment? Tell us some stats of what's going on out there.
Okay.
Bring us back.
So 72%, like, can we just appreciate 72% of men say they know little to nothing about menopause and about, and about what's happening in a woman's body. They grossly underestimate what's really going on. Now, and this is consistent with what I just shared with you, but nearly half of divorces in the US occur after the age of 45, which coincides with that menopausal transition.
Makes so much sense.
In fact, the lawyers, this is kind of funny, the lawyers call it the divorce boom.
Oh.
I thought that was very clever.
That is very.
Booms or bank account.
Now, here's something interesting, because women who feel supported by their partners report 2 times the amount of sexual satisfaction. So I thought that
makes
was very
sense.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, makes sense.
So, as important as it is for us women to understand what's going on in our bodies, it seems equally important for the men in our lives to know what's going on in terms of, the health of the relationship, the health of the sex life. Like, it's all contingent on them being aware.
Yeah.
Do you
I
think
found-
the 72% in that, do you think that it's that they don't want to know, or they've just never been told? I wonder where that's coming from. Is there some that maybe just don't want to know?
I kind of
Yes,
also
for
wonder how
sure,
many
but-
women, I think the tides are turning, but I think probably until quite recently, a lot of women were probably not so literate in terms of what was going on in their bodies.
100%.
And so how could we
100%.
expect the men to be if we weren't, aware of it ourselves. So it is interesting, but it certainly is an incentive for men to get on board because it basically guarantees you'll have it almost
Better sex
guarantees
life.
you'll have a stronger relationship and much better sex.
And happiness, happiness across the board. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I
freedom.
found that the changes in my body forced conversations that would not have otherwise
Mm.
happened about things like angle,
Mm.
angle, depth,
Blessing.
lubrication,
Those are the blessings
all
of the
of those
problem or
things.
the
And
challenge, I should say.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of renegotiate sex, which I think otherwise we would have just kept, same, same old, same
Yeah.
old.
Which again, I think that's amazing, but I do, my husband is really open to feedback in sex, but I have certainly been with my share of men who have not been so secure, right, in that conversation. So to Andrea's question earlier, like, do they want to know? Are there men who don't want to know?
Yeah.
I think it's probably tied to their own sense of confidence and ego health or whatever.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, it's interesting because kind of out there in more the celebrity world with a lot of influencers and stuff, menopause TikTok has been a spot for
Mhm.
men to
Yeah.
actually talk about. It's becoming like an unexpected classroom where women and some men are educating male partners about the realities of menopause. So I took note on a couple of influencers that are men that are really going hard on this. So Joe Seeley, better going hard, no pun intended. Joe Seeley, better known as the Menopause Man. So he's a former Yes, he's a former UK footballer and businessman who's married to Nicole from the Real Housewives of Cheshire. Didn't know they had that one. And so on social media, he's building a following by openly talking about what it's like to live with a partner going through menopause. And so he's mixing in a lot of humor and real talk, and he's kind of going over the ups and downs of hot flashes and mood swings and his relationship struggles. But he's also highlighting the importance of communication and support for each other. So I think that's really, really cool. And he's not a doctor, but he is giving permission to men to join in the conversation.
To have a
which is
talk
what-
about it.
That's it. And
That's
we
great.
want the men to come in and talk to us about it too. We do
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And then we have Ali Farhat, that is the menopause guy. So we have a man and then we have a guy. And Ali is
Man
known.
was taken. It was already taken.
Do you think those two have had a conversation? Yeah. Do you think?
Yeah, you got that covered and I got this one. We got the SEO covered, man.
Yeah.
So he is the founder of Conquer Your Menopause. He's also a wellness coach. Yep. He focuses on helping women 45 and older to balance their hormones. He helps them improve their nutrition, reclaim their energy, and he has nearly 20,000 followers on TikTok from this. So he likes to share a lot of practical strategies around your diet, your lifestyle, your holistic health, and he offers sustainable approaches instead of these quick fixes. So I think that's really great. And he also addresses the emotional side of menopause. He kind of talks about going from your self-esteem to like your mental health, right? So he's making this whole thing like an educational and empowering
That's
thing.
great.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And again, he's not a medical doctor. Neither of them are, but they are really focusing on the whole body wellness that resonates with women and with men at this point. So I think it's amazing. I think it's really amazing that they are doing that. I think we need more of them. I think we'll need to get them to come on our show and talk to us and
Totally.
really,
Yeah,
and really
how
give
do
us a
we
men's
feel?
perspective.
Yeah.
About men
Yeah.
teaching us about menopause. Though.
I was
gonna
gonna
ask
ask
that,
that. Like,
I was just gonna
I
ask
know
that. Good
Ozzy
Lord.
has
Well-
feelings
yeah, thumbs up
Well,
or
I'll be
thumbs
very-
down on like male
Yeah.
gynecologists. Like, yeah, it's an interesting
Right.
inquiry, right?
I'll be very clear. They're not coming on to teach us anything we don't already know. They're just coming on to join us in the conversation.
Well, there is something to say that it is a hot topic and it is making a lot of money. It's
It's
you're
making
looking-
a lot of money.
right?
Yeah.
So it is something that, of course, people are jumping on the bandwagon and talking about it as experts. Be cautious, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, the men are not going to
Yeah.
let the women have all the glory in this area.
No, right? Fast moving
Never.
ship. It's an
That's
opportunity and it's a service, which is great. It's bringing more and more, it sheds light on what's going on and more people can learn. So,
And the same
Yeah.
way that we look for other women who have a shared experience, it's probably good for men to connect with other men
Totally.
who are similarly, challenged or frustrated by this in their own relationships. So, the community aspect of it is positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it
but I
sounds
will
like they're
say-
targeting women more than they are men. So I would love for them to work with men and to have that community,
Yeah.
but they're talking to women. And so I think there's
Oh, okay.
I'm Anyway.
That's important. Yeah.
Something
big
out of
yeah,
alignment
distinction
there.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll
Just
take
'cause
our
I will say,
coaching. They'll take our notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Got
are
it,
we
got
are
it.
we are essentially a think tank. Us and our listeners
Yeah.
are,
Mhm.
It's like a
we
big
are a
menopause think tank. Yeah.
and I hope men listen, and I hope they join us to be educated
Yes.
as well
Yeah.
as to join
Yeah.
in the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, because even going along with your stats, Karen, I mean, it was kind of hard for me to find actual men that were just solely talking about that. There was very few. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense what the
Mm.
stats are on that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Love. I love. I love. All right, let's get on to our favorite segment, you guys. It's, of course, our legs wide open segment. Woo! Showing the hoo-ha. We're going to do a couple of hot flash confessions today. We're going to really kind of focus on, do men understand ... So I just want to kind of go, I'm going to point to you guys, give me something that you wish that men understood more, whether it's in your sex life, just in your normal everyday life, the way you're thinking, feeling, anything. So who wants to start? Let me go with Lori.
I can always start. I can always
The buffet person.
The buffet.
I can always start. You can always count on me. I wish men understood that emotional labor is as hard as physical labor. And sometimes emotional labor is invisible labor. And I just like, there's a reason, maybe John can explain this, but there is a reason that I'm tired, even though I didn't schlep anything or build anything or make anything with my hands today. There is a reason why I'm tired at the end of the day. And I think it has to do with, there's actual labor that I do all day, but there's a lot of emotional and invisible labor I do. And I don't think men get that because it's not visible. And it's not the
No,
labor they do
and
generally.
yeah, and just to add the nuanced piece to that, and more I'm hearing you are calling for a remedy, sepia, that is a women's hormonal remedy. Like, you're calling for it, and it does have liver involvement and all the things, right? And so, ladies, sepia is one of the most common homeopathic remedies that can support women's hormonal health. But let's add to that as women, we're meant to labor, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, in cycles where there are days we're supposed to do more and days we're supposed to do less. And we don't honor that in this society, period.
Yep.
And that accumulates over time, just like sleep deprivation.
What happened
here
to
we
the
are.
Sabbath day?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We just
Yeah.
don't even do it anymore. All the stores opened up. Everything's open. The only thing that isn't is car dealerships.
And we can't because the world is just
We
not set
can't.
up that
It's not
way.
built that
we
way.
have
That's
no
right.
option to
We
do
can't.
You got to keep
Yeah.
up. Got to
Yeah.
keep up.
Right. My
So
kids
it's
got to
gotta
be at
be-
school at whatever o'clock, no
Yeah.
matter what come rain, shine, whatever, whether she feels like shit or I feel like shit. It's like, yeah, it's just not set up for our health and wellness.
So would
Yeah.
would it be safe to say that it's not necessarily, the question is I know we're asking what we wish men understood, but we can also say what we wish women understood, because I think you can't have one without the other.
No.
I like
I
that.
go for
Yin
all
and
genders
yang.
understanding.
All
Let's
genders,
define
yes.
that.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, Dawn, you want to give us yours?
Yeah, I'm
What
gonna
do you wish
piggyback.
men understood?
Yeah, sex drive. I see this a lot in my clients, right? Because I work with a lot of couples as well as a lot of divorced women. I'm not saying there's correlation. Anyways, but I think that men are able to move through really high levels of productivity and still get turned on very quickly most of the time, right? It's just it's of them. That is the design, that they can sort of drop trow. I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush, but it is easy for them to get turned on sort of regardless of the circumstances. And for women, it's really not that. If we have been functioning in our masculine energy and not feeling sexy, not in our bodies, not feeling feminine, not, in alignment or rested or whatever, we are not going to automatically feel turned on in the same way. And if I had $1 for every time I've seen clients misunderstand that, or even my own husband take that personally, which I don't want for him or them to take that personally, right? It's like, no, let's have the conversation about how to get turned on in a way that doesn't just involve rubbing my hoo-ha, because that's not where we start, or poking my boobs. How many women are so tired of their boobs getting poked?
They like play with them like they're like Tune In Tokyo.
I accidentally just lit the internet on fire. Yeah.
Tune In
Not-
Tokyo.
Not how it works,
hysterical.
friends. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that.
I love that.
I love that. Ozzy, you want to share yours?
Yeah, I think for me it's brain fog, because I'm often just sort of trying to find myself. But it's just understanding that we're not tuning you out,
Yeah.
we're just having a moment. Give us a moment, and we're not. This isn't about. And similar to what Don said, don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Ozzy,
Yeah,
do you ever
it's
have
hard not
word
to.
finding issues? I went through this
Yes.
whole season where
Mhm.
okay, and
Today.
so I don't
The
do it.
easiest words. The easiest words.
So you know what I started doing? I would reach for a word that had like was similar, like maybe syllabically or whatever. And so I'd be like, "Can you go put this in the vacuum cleaner?" And they just needed to understand I meant dishwasher. So like I developed my own entire like hormonal dysfunction language, and they caught on after a while.
They got it.
Totally.
I do think that is one of the most frustrating things about menopause is the memory loss, the fog brain. I was even at the doctor the other day talking to her about my menopause symptoms, or so I think, and I couldn't even remember to say that I had memory loss. I mean, it was so frustrating.
But it's like a
I
blip.
mean,
if you
It's
forgot
like a
it.
blip on the radar. It's
I
like
was a walking example. I'm like, no, what's that other symptom I have?
every
Come on.
every
That's
day.
hysterical.
And Don has a remedy for it. I am sure.
That's right.
I think Don should come up with remedies for men. Just saying.
Oh no, there are
Yes.
plenty, friends. There are
Yeah,
plenty.
yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
She's like, I've
But
got those.
I'll say that some of
See
my
me for
clients
the
too.
list.
One of the things they come to me and when they talk about their partners in menopause is they'll say that she's not being present with me. And so I often have to remind them, right? Like it's not that she's not being
Why?
present with you. She's her brain, her hormones are all over the place, and
Yeah.
can you get curious around it instead of judging it or taking it personally? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does all of this stuff, I don't know who knows this, once we go through our period of menopause, do all of the things return a little bit more normal? Do you all of a
Not
sudden start-
necessarily.
It
Some people have hot
depends.
flashes for decades. I mean,
Oh,
But
God.
that's
everybody's
a sign.
different.
Yeah, but that's a sign of massive
Liver.
energy block.
Yeah.
So
Of course,
yes,
of course.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm going to piggyback on Ozzy.
Go.
Is that okay with you, Ozzy? I'm going to piggyback on you. You know,
I'm ready
to
for
me,
you.
look,
Mm.
the biggest thing that happened in menopause for me was I lost my ability to sleep well. Horrible, horrible insomnia. And for me, I wish men could understand that not every woman is going to have the same symptoms of menopause. Like, you know, if it's hot flash, okay, they're dealing with that. If it's lack of memory or whatever it's at, but to be gentle and to have conversations and to see your woman as this is her journey and to be able to have that patience. Because I think of a relationship, you know, 10, 15 years ago, he couldn't do it. And I was suffering so much with not being able to be present because I was exhausted and desperate for sleep. And so I wish men could drop into more of that patience and gentleness and creating that soft landing, because then we will have more connection and we can do the journey together, or at least I'd be honored in my journey along the way. So that's my take on it.
I don't want to lose the plot again too far, okay? But I want to piggyback on that I think that sometimes we expect men to do jobs that we're supposed to be doing with our girlfriends, right? So the six of us have talked a lot about how meaningful this girl gang has become to all of us, right?
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes we're supposed to be having these conversations and supporting each other in community and being vulnerable and sharing our stories and connecting, and we're not. And then we expect our partners to do this lift that we're meant to do with each other in feminine community also. Just want to add that sort of.
Oh, well, I want to add to that as well, because to me, it's a yes and. It's like, yes, to have our sisterhood, to have our place to land, to go, I need some support because he's not necessarily getting it. And to, for men, this, to bring the men back in menopause, for them to really hear that we are going through something and how can we do this together, and what do they need to know about our journey, and how can we dance this new chapter together while we're talking with our friends.
And here's, I'm going to take that one step farther, because I think you're right that they need to hear what we're going through, but I think they need to hear us in general. I work with so many women who are over functioning, they're overtired, they're overwhelmed, overworked, and their men don't realize that there is a limit to how much we can repeat ourselves and how many times we can, yes, there is a responsibility for the women to be talking and asking for what we need. But I wish personally that men understood that, you know, a bit of attention and like understanding and really hearing us goes a long way because our patience is thin. I mean, and we just can't continue to have the
Preach.
same conversations again and
Preach.
again and expect to have, to feel that our needs are being met and to have a healthy relationship. So I think, men
great one.
also tend to get caught up in their own world and they're not always listening. And I think that skill is especially critical now.
In this season.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, Yeah. and they tune out because they just don't understand it. So when men don't understand it, there's a tendency to to go into avoidance or to tuning out
And feel like they can't fix it, right?
They
When
can't
they feel
fix
like they
it.
can't fix it,
Yeah,
they feel
correct.
inadequate. They fly
You
the
just
coop.
have to
Yeah.
tell them the way you fix this is just listen to me and
Yeah.
let me know you understood
Correct.
what I said, and that will actually fix it.
Yeah.
you give them something
That's right.
you give them something to
Give them something to win at.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pickle
Oh,
jar.
I like that.
And can you tell I'm talking from a little bit of experience with
Yes.
this recently?
Yes,
Yes.
but it's a shared
We hear you.
experience with so
Yeah.
many women. Yeah.
Yeah.
How we speak to our partners, how we communicate. I mean, that's pretty sure what Lori was getting at. It's
Yeah.
like how we're dialoguing with them and inviting them in is key versus shaming or putting them
Yeah.
down or not speaking in a way that they can really hear what's going on inside of us.
So there's a responsibility, I think, as we wrap up, like there's a responsibility on both ends.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Both
Absolutely.
partners.
Yeah.
And only because you mentioned it, Karen, is about kind of what's going on with you. Is there anything you can share in there a little bit just about what you are actually going through right now in the moment with
Just
your partner?
communication. Just like honestly,
that's where it's lacking.
it's me having to be like, okay, this has gotten to a point where this is something we need to communicate about. And needing him to really be present and listen and understand. And thankfully, we moved through it, but
Good.
but it's something that, as I said, requires both people taking responsibility for
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Lori.
I want to make one final point. Actually, two distinctions. One distinction is the amount of effort it takes for my husband to listen and just listen and reflect back and not try to change, fix, or coach is a way greater lift than it takes for a woman to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm very careful about how much, to speak to your point, Dawn, about how much I take out of the bank account, because that is a withdrawal for me to take out of the bank account to ask him to do that. So wherever I can, I ask my coach, my friends, Ed, so that I bring joy, happiness, lightness to my husband. The other distinction I want to bring is if I'm emotional about something in my life versus if I'm emotional about something about him. And just again to like distinguish that it is 10 times more difficult to listen and not react when the content is about you for any gender, I would imagine, but certainly for my husband. And so I also try to take that to somebody who will help me ground myself,
Distill it.
regulate my nervous system before I bring the feedback or the expression
Wow,
to
that
my
is
husband.
impressive.
yeah,
Next
makes
level.
sense.
Next
I
level.
don't always succeed.
That's good, but it's
that
good
is
to
no
know.
ideal.
I mean, once we acknowledge it, we can do something about it, or at least be like, "Oops, drop the ball." Apology,
And
own
let's
it.
face it, we're all works in progress the same way they're
Correct.
all works in progress. Like none of us do this perfectly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And remember,
And-
their nervous system is different than ours.
They're different. We have to remember that they're different.
Yes.
Wait,
we
Ozzy,
expect
can
the
you just
same.
say one more thing about that? How is their how are their nervous systems different?
Yeah, so their capacity to handle things coming at them sideways is how they describe it usually. When you're bringing a complaint to them, that's sideways. Their brain is sort of mapped out like an apartment building. They could only be in one apartment at one time. So if you come in there and you barge in and you give them a complaint or you throw an emotion at them, they don't know what to do with that. It takes them a lot longer to come back to presence, because we're really looking for presence from them, right? So it takes a lot longer for them to come out of the apartment. So I always teach women, knock on the door, ask for permission to enter, and ask for, hey, is this a good time? If not, later will be a better time.
Exactly. Well said.
I wanted one more practical tip for myself and the ladies listening. Thank you.
And we aim for progress, not perfection. So as Karen mentioned, right? Like we're all work in progress.
I love it. And with that, we are closing the legs, lady. I appreciate all all of your hot flash confessions. Those are amazing. And I think it's really, we're all learning from each other, which is, I think, what is most important about this and why we want people to join us in the lounge and kind of listen in, but also join in the conversations with us. We hope that the listeners are loving what we are bringing to them, all of our wonderful thoughts and ideas, and we're making light of a lot of things, which I think we need to make sure everybody understands this is not meant to be this heavy down thing
No,
on
we
menopause.
heal faster when we're laughing. Like that's
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So I love that we're doing that. So everybody that's listening, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast. That helps us bring even more amazing episodes like this to us. And we want to hear from you guys. We want you to share your story. Tell us how men have shown up for you or not during menopause. You can email us at theladies@menopauselovelounge.com. We want to hear from you. You can also DM us. We are on Instagram at Menopause Love Lounge. You can find this podcast anywhere you get them. So that's all I got for this week, guys. Anything anybody wants to add in the last little minute here?
Men write in too.
Men, we want to hear from the men.
Yeah.
And I think men are just chomping at the bit to say something. I get the most comments on my personal podcast from men that are like, they just want to be heard and want to say something, So we welcome that.
Let's
as
show
well.
them we can listen.
Yes, that's
We
right.
can do it. We can. All right, you guys, that in our lounge. That is it for this week at the Menopause Love Lounge. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you guys next week. Have a great one. Bye for now.
Bye, Bron.